They say a mother's love can forgive anything, but no. One never tells you how it feels when your own blood becomes your. Well, my son broke my nose not by accident, but because money meant more to him than his mother's. Heartbeat that day, I didn't scream, I didn't fight, I didn't even ask why, because sometimes silence isn't weakness, it's the beginning of strength. Bear, I tell you how I broke. His ego without a single word hit that subscribe button because what I'm about to. Sherry isn't just a story, it's a truth life carved into my bones. It started over land, the same land his father and I built our lives on, the same soil where I grew. Our food raised him and buried our dreams together after. His father died, that land became my temple. I would walk through it, barefoot every morning, whispering prayers under the old banyan tree. It was more than dirt, it was memory, but my son saw it as money, a ticket to the city. He said, we can sell it, Mom, start something new live. But Terry smiled and said softly, some things you build with money, but some things you keep with love. I didn't like that answer. The next few days turned into arguments. His voice got louder. Mine got smaller until one evening he snappily threw the papers on the table, shouting that I was selfish, that I didn't understand how the world worked. And then it happened. At slap came so fast, I didn't even feel it at first. Only when the warm blood touched my lips did I realize my nose was broken. The floor tilted, my heart stopped, and in that single moment I lost my son, though he was still standing there. He didn't curse him, I didn't scream, I just said, one day you. Oh, I remember this pain, but not on your face. Then I turned away that night. I packed my bag, one small shawl, a framed photo of his father, and my silence, and I walked out of the house, barefoot, each step heavy but free. I found a small room on the edge of a quiet town, leaky roof, cracked mirror, a bed that creaked every time I breathed, but I was so faced, started sewing clothes. For the neighbors, at first it was survival, but slowly every stitch became therapy. I stitched until my fingers bled. I stitched until my mind stopped replaying that. Sleep every morning, I would touch the scar on my nose, and instead of crying, I would whisper, you're still her. Excellence became my companion. I didn't tell anyone my story, not because I was ashamed, but because my peace didn't need an audience. People say silence is empty, but mine was full of lessons, full of waiting, because deep down I knew karma doesn't knock loudly, it arrives quietly when no one is watching. Years passed, the wrinkles on my face deepened, but my heart grew lighter. Then one evening, a knock on my door. When I opened it, my breath caught. It was him. He looked thinner, older, the confidence in his eyes gone. His hands shook as he said, Mom. His voice cracked like a child. Told me his business had collapsed, his wife left, his friends disappeared. The moment his wallet did, he looked at me, eyes full of regret. Mom, I have nowhere to go. Stood there quietly. The woman he once humiliated was now the only home he had left. He didn't lecture him. I didn't remind him of that night. I simply moved aside and said, come in. That was enough, because forgiveness and silence burns far deeper than anger ever could. He stayed, did chores, cooked meals, fixed what he could. Every act was a quiet apologist. Amidst, I would catch him staring at the scar on my nose, and every time he would look away. But guilt doesn't vanish when you look down, it only grows heavier. On evening he came to me with tears in his eyes. He said, Mom, I don't deserve your love. I looked at him, the same boy who once couldn't meet my eyes, and said softly, then earn it, son, by being better. Fell to his knees, sobbing. And in that moment, I saw his ego break, not because I punished him, but because I didn't. That's when I learned silence isn't revenge, it's transformation. Months later, I got sick. Weakness took over my body, and the doctor said I needed rest. He never left my side. He cooked for me, cleaned the house, held my hand when fever burned my skin at night. I woke up to the sound of quiet sobbing. He was sitting by my bed, holding my hand to his. Forehead whispering, God, please don't take her away. Not before I fix what I broke. His tears fell on my hand warm and real, and in that moment I realized he finally understood what he had done. He wasn't praying for forgiveness, he was praying for time to love me the right way, time to undo his mistakes in. That's when I smiled, weak but peaceful, because the lesson was complete. He finally became the man I prayed he would, not through pain, not through punishment, but through the silence that taught him what words never could. I fear watching this and someone betrayed you, hurt you, broke. Something inside you didn't chase revenge, didn't chase apology, just walk away in silence, because silence doesn't mean you lost it. Means you handed the fight to life, and life never forgets its dues. Commit silence heals if you've ever chosen peace over revenge like this video. If you believe karma has its own timing, and subscribe, because next time it'll tell you how I turned that same silence into purpose, and how I built a life so peaceful it became its own kind of revenge.